Thanks for stopping by. This is Ars Poetic and I'm just a dude who really loves to play video games. This video is part of a larger full-length review that I created. If you want to check that out, the link will be in the description. Let's get to the video. Ghost of Tsushima Legends, otherwise known as the multiplayer mode. In this mode, you are able to team up with other players online for some awesome co-op missions. The campaign of the main game is more or less grounded in realism when it comes to its storytelling and combat. However, in Legends you're gonna see a lot of weird and supernatural shit here, which actually creates new, fun, and challenging gameplay. There are 4 main modes here: Story, Survival, Raids, and Rivals. Story mode offers a series of objective-based missions for up to 2 players. Each story typically spans 3 chapters. Each chapter will have you go through different areas and complete different objectives, which mostly come down to eliminating enemies. The catch here though is that these aren't ordinary enemies, and they may require specific tactics to defeat. In survival, you have to survive a certain amount of waves while also controlling key areas of the map. If enemies take control of a point, you cannot reclaim it for a couple of rounds, and your team's maximum health will be lowered. For me, this is my go-to multiplayer mode in Legends. Raids here are sort of like the endgame content. The scenarios play out like some of those in the Legends story mode, where there are certain objectives and methods you must use to defeat your enemies and move on, except here, you get to be in a group of 4. Rivals is the latest mode to hit this game. This game mode is a 2v2 competitive match to see who can defeat all waves of enemies fastest. Each team will have their own side of the map. You will gain Magatama as you defeat enemies, which can be used to make offerings that will harm your opponents. Each mode has a nightmare version that is updated weekly for higher level rewards. There are some fundamental differences in Legends which switch up some of the gameplay elements that you might be used to in the campaign. Let's start with the classes. The main difference here is that you can no longer be a skilled jack of all trades when it comes to playstyle. There are now 4 character classes to choose from. Each class has their own unique and ultimate ability that you can activate with Resolve. Class abilities can be periodically activated between cooldowns. There are also perks for each of the classes that buff certain abilities or characteristics of that class. While most can equip and use the same type of weapons and gear, some are tied to specific classes. The Samurai is the tank class, which focuses on dealing heavy damage. Their ultimate ability is Hachiman's Fury, which lets you lay down a quick succession of strikes on your foes. 2 of the class abilities focused on heavy damage, while one of them allows you to siphon health from your enemies. The perks focus on melee buffs and abilities, while certain samurai charms also increase various melee damage and health attributes. The Hunter is essentially a ranged class. While also adept with sword combat, the Hunter's true power lies in their various ranged abilities. The Eye of Uchitsune is the Hunter's ultimate ability, which allows you to instantly target multiple enemies for guaranteed headshots. 2 of the class abilities let you fire more powerful arrows, while the 3rd ability allows you to summon a Ghost Archer to help provide ranged attacks. The perks mostly focus on buffing range damage, ammo, and fire rates. While all classes can equip bows, only the Hunter can equip the longbows for increased damage and range. The Ronin class is a great support class. Their ultimate ability is Breath of Izanami, which will revive all downed allies no matter where they are on the map. Each Ronin class ability offers something different. The first will summon a spirit dog to aid you in combat. The second ability will allow you to heal allies when they are close to you, and the third will ignite enemies near you. While any class can use sticky bombs, only the Ronin can equip the bomb packs, which provide excellent crowd control. The Assassin will perform quick and powerful assassinations on enemies and can utilize the Vanish ability, which is essentially an enhanced smoke bomb technique. Their ultimate is Shadow Strike, which renders you invisible and allows you to perform long-range melee attacks. The Assassin's 3 class abilities are different variations of the Vanish technique. The first will make your smoke cloud poisonous to enemies, while the second will vanish allies within range along with you. The last smoke bomb ability will also heal you and your nearby allies. Only the Assassin can equip the blowgun, which allows you to use those hallucination darts. There are no party requirements for specific classes, so you, your friends, and random players don't have to worry about not being able to play your desired class. However, I do recommend that you coordinate when possible, because each class certainly has their own strengths and abilities that provide a good balance for combat and teamwork. Gear functions very differently in Legends. Every weapon and item now has its own set of stats and abilities tied to it, with various degrees of rarities. The gear you equip will directly affect your overall power level. While every class has a katana, you no longer have access to all 4 stances like you do in the campaign mode. Here, each katana will have one stance by default, though if you're lucky, you can have a katana with the ability to switch to another stance. If you party up with your friends, you might want to make sure you have multiple katana stances in your group. That way, each of you can focus on specific enemy types for effective damage. What's cool about the gear having all these different stats and perks is that you can actually modify the individual elements of each weapon or reforge the item to get a whole new set of traits. This mitigates the grind for gear that is sometimes present in these types of systems. That covers all of the gear that actually affects gameplay. While everything else is only cosmetic, there are a ton of cool options here, including those from the main game. The armors and masks are actually unique to each class. They throw in some emotes and sword particle effects too. There are many challenges you can complete to gain these cosmetics, but that's pretty much it. What you're really here for is slicing up enemies with your buddies, and honestly, that's all it needed to be. While Rivals was a pretty cool recent addition, I would like to see other types of PvP modes, including 1v1 sword duels thrown into the mix, or even just more raids and survival maps. Something tells me they'll continue to add at least a couple more things to this game, so definitely take a look at the patch notes for the latest updates. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it in any way, check out my other video clips from this review in the linked playlist, or even watch the entire review if you'd like. Peace.